regulations adoption and public comment. So Commission Regulation 12-03, 2013 Wildlife Heritage Amendment Number 1, Wildlife Heritage, Silver State, Partnership in Wildlife, and Heritage Tag Vendors. Commissioner Wallace. The Heritage Committee Chairman will provide the committee's vendor recommendations to the Commission for possible action for 2013 tags. Commissioner Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe everyone has the recommendations in their packet. I just want to start out with, I received on June 19th at 10 o'clock in the evening a email from the WIN group of Las Vegas. And my committee meeting was the next day, which was not agendized properly to talk about this, so I wanted to bring it up now so that if it's of the Commission's purview to do it. They are requesting, we had 2 turkey tags that we did not allocate. We didn't have any interest in them. And the WIN group is interested in both of those tags. So, I mean, that's something we can discuss as a commission and do today, in addition to what the Heritage Committee is recommending. I think everyone has a copy of these, but do you want me to read off the recommendations, or?
Where's that at? Where's it at? 16A. I'm trying to locate mine. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. Okay, I'm with you. Well, why don't you go over the ones that you have allocated, and then we'll bring up the WIN, the 2 turkey tags for WIN.
For the mule deer tags, we recommended the Mule Deer Foundation receive one, and the WIN Wildlife Habitat and Improvement of Nevada for the other one. For pronghorn antelope, there were 2 of them, one to Pershing County Chuckers and one to the Nevada Waterfowl Association. Rocky Mountain elk, there were 2 of them, one to the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and one to the Safari Club International Northern Nevada chapter. And there were 2 Nelson Bighorn sheep, one to Nevada Bighorns Unlimited Reno chapter and one to the Wild Sheep Foundation National. There was a California Bighorn sheep to Nevada Bighorns Unlimited Reno chapter. And then the wild turkey, there were 5 available, and we recommended 3 of them, 2 to the Safari Club International Northern Nevada chapter and 1 to Pershing County Chuckers.
Okay. Do we have any commission comment or discussion with respect to the first of all, I want to thank the Heritage Committee for all the hard work and on this aspect. There's obviously we got a lot of heritage stuff on the agenda today, but this is just the first item. But thank you very much for all your hard work on this. Anybody have any comments with regard to the recommendations by the Heritage Committee with regard to the heritage tags? Okay. Seeing none, then I don't think there's a problem. You know, we have you know, WIN already had an application in. They had requested the mule deer tag, and you've awarded that to them already. So they already had an application in, you know, according to the, you know, and you know, with, you know, met the deadlines and everything that are, you know, for doing that. And so when it became apparent that there were 2 additional turkey tags, you know, they have some members that are pretty avid turkey guys, as well as we have a gentleman down in the south, Kinson Lee, who is very active in turkeys, and we had WIN at the Counter Advisory Board meeting, and it all came together that they indicated they wanted it, and so that's what generated the email to you as chairman. And so I don't see any problem. Hate to see some tags go unallocated, they're perfectly willing to go ahead and do that. So I guess we just need to include that in our motion to approve.
I think I would like to hear from the department to see if there's any reason that maybe we shouldn't.
Okay.
I can comment on that.
Okay.
I can comment on that. Just historically, this commission has done that on multiple occasions. When on turkey, it's been brought up. I know we discussed with DAG at previous meetings. You know, somebody comes up, there's not allocated. It was expressed to us at that time that it's a no-brainer. You know, it's not too late. And we've done that on turkey tags historically on multiple occasions. And there's never been a slightest hiccup, and our dags didn't slap us around at all.
Yeah.
Which was shocking.
In fact, I seem to recall that we even did it with one of the big game tags. I don't know which one it was. It may have been a mule deer tag with the Reno chapter of MBU or a Safari Club or something.
Yes, there were tags during committee, didn't work out for some reason. They came back, commission had to reallocate them at the meeting.
Actually, there was one that where MBU turned down a tag, and then we had to reallocate, or it was Safari Club.
Safari Club.
Down, and yeah, so now I recall. So. Okay, so
it's historically.
Agnew, you don't see any issues with that?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay.
If I may, Bob Hoyan, Chief Operations. Just want to point out that their function date for 2013 is March 16th. And while the season date isn't set, this year's season date will be March 25th. So we're just looking at kind of a tight time frame in which to get the funds from the sale of that tag and then get the tag into the hand of the hunter.
Okay. So it'll be incumbent.
And some do walk it through. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there was anything in that communication that talked about their acknowledgement of their dates. So
It just says that since the wind has moved our banquet to an early to mid-March schedule to accommodate any heritage tag available.
but just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think that they will do whatever it takes to get, because obviously at the time of the banquet, I'm sure that it'll be brought to light what the time frames are.
Okay.
Okay, this is an action item, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out to the public unless there's any additional commission comment. Okay, I'll go ahead and take it out to the public. Any comments on the heritage vendor tag recommendations by the committee? Come on up, Paul.
For the record, Paul Dixon, just wanted to reiterate that with the wind thing, we've discussed it, but I did talk with Bill, and they are committed to doing things. And one thing I'll say for wind is since we've had all of the public awareness with the various issues that have come up with bear hunting, trapping, and horses and everything, they have been attending faithfully my cab meeting with a lot of their membership and been extremely supportive of getting people out and educating. And they have a large membership that they email to in Southern Nevada, which has been extremely helpful. And I know that the Southern Nevada Coalition for Wildlife is going to actually use them as one of their vehicles for getting a lot of information out to sportsmen. And I take the HOV stuff we just had as another thing that I'll get those guys to spread around Southern Nevada. So, but they've been very, very supportive, and I think that the other thing is that about a quarter of their membership is from the Moapa Valley area in Southern Nevada, where we have our turkey hunts, and I think we'll have a very good representation of people bidding on that tag, and we should make good money back on it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Rex, come on up.
Rex Flowers, Washoe County Cab. While I anticipate you're going to pass it, and I have no problem with you giving out tags, at the Washoe County Board, we saw that there were 2 tags not allocated and noted in the meeting minutes for the Heritage Committee. It was because of the population going down on turkeys, so they chose to just give out 3, even though they had 5 available. And then it was also noted in Washoe County meeting that in the season setting, that turkey tags are rather hard to come by. They're at a minimum, so I would caution you on that point.
And I can speak to that. The gentleman that brought up, he also, Kinson Lee, he's a former county advisory board member down in Clark County. and he is a wild turkey. I don't know anybody that hunts wild turkeys like this guy, and he is he went so far as to assist every single tag holder in the Overton Wildlife Management Area in getting their turkeys both on the facility and off the facility. And in that process, he has become incredibly familiar, probably more than anybody, with the turkey population down there. And so he contacted, I believe he contacted you, and I don't know if you want to relay, but at least Kenson indicated that the number of mature toms that he has been seeing down there is substantially up from what in the prior years. And so he being the most the biggest advocate for turkeys, the last thing he's going to want to do is to over-harvest them, and so he is communicating to the department and to us that our turkey population there in Overton is actually doing pretty good, and there are more than enough, you know, mature toms there to be able to harvest, even with the 2 additional tags for heritage, as well as he's making a recommendation for an increase in the actual tags to be drawn as well, that we'll go over when we get to the upland game. So did you have anything further to add? During that, okay. So just to, yeah, we did address that. Okay. Any additional public comment on heritage tag vendors, Larry?
Excuse me. Thank you, Larry Johnson, Nevada Bighorns Unlimited, Reno. Want to support the recommendations of the committee, and I want to thank also all the past vendors and this future year's vendors. We have advertisement expenses. We have this does add a certain element of excitement to our fundraising banquet, but quite frankly, we don't keep a dime. We don't see any return from these tags, and so it is in the interest of conservation of wildlife and protection enhancement, and just goes along with all of our goals. I'm glad to see that the committee saw forth to award NBU Reno sheep tags this year. You know, we are told by outfitters across North America who attend our banquet that we put on the finest, largest fundraising banquet in North America, and quite frankly, I think we put on the best show on the planet. So, thank you again.
Okay, thank you. Judy?
Commissioners, thank you. For the record, my name is Judy Karen, and I'm here today to represent the Northern Nevada chapter of Safari Club International. And I want to say, you brought it up today, the last time our chapter has had a tag was back in 2010, and we haven't applied for any tags. It's very important to our chapter, the mission statement of our club, for the perpetuation of wildlife, hunter rights, and the opportunity and how those funds are used. One of the funds, some of the funds were used, and I have to bring this up because our chapter was involved in it, was the transplant and capture of antelopes 2 years ago that went to the Yakima tribe in Washington with the affiliation of the Safari Club chapter in Washington to bring those antelope. The opportunity that provided to our local chapter, our families and youth, the Range Club out of UNR, was compelling. Those kids have stayed engaged to be able to put their hands on wildlife, to see what it has done. It's a wonderful educational tool, our programs that we offer through Heritage. So we are here before you today, and I want to thank you and the committee for recommending us for an elk tag and 2 turkey tags. With the 2 turkey tags, I'd like to bring up, if we are so lucky to be awarded those, we would probably use those as an opportunity to auction together to provide opportunity for families to go together. It's so hard to get a turkey tag, but we thought of a new marketing skill to go with that. We would do everything in our power, use all our tools in our publications and on the website to get this out there, because we think marketing, as Larry mentioned from NBU, it's the same with our Safari Club chapter. It puts a different element into the room. And when we saw that we had the opportunity this year and the way the money's been handled, that was the first thing at our board meeting, to get back into it. We want to participate again and see the money used wisely. So we do thank you, and we would be honored and privileged to hold one of those tags. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional public comment? Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and bring it back to the commission. There is one item that I would like to get some information on, and that is fees that an organization that is a vendor is able to charge the person who purchases the tag. Can somebody explain what those rules are, and if that is a normal occurrence?
Yeah, that's something I think the commission needs to deal with. One of the things that the vendors have done, if someone uses a credit card to pay for the tag, and there's a 3% Visa fee, that the group then recoups that 3% instead of coming out of that would be out of the pocket of the organization that held the auction. That doesn't seem to be a fair thing. There's a number of groups that want to take a premium on top, and as Mr. Johnson said, that organizations don't do that. So what we need to probably have a discussion from a policy perspective, and put something in writing. But that's been the MO to date.
Okay, Larry, do you have a comment?
NBU Reno, Larry Johnson, NBU Reno. I don't believe we should be charging a fee. We don't want to be compensated. We're here to protect and enhance Nevada's wildlife. And of course, we do that with our money. We don't have any paid employees, no paid directors. Everything is purely a volunteer effort. That's the way we think the purity of that is how this program should be run. And I apologize if my comment of we don't make any money off of this was taken as not what I meant. I'm not here to say we should. This is to make money for Nevada's wildlife, and I think that's the way it should stay. Okay, thank you.
No, my specific comment clearly wasn't to NBU. It was actually to another organization that I know for a fact does charge, and I believe it is over and above 3% on a transaction done with a credit card. And so, and I don't believe that it was, I'm not sure if it was communicated, before the, before the actual auction was one of the things that I was concerned about. So I'm really curious, what it is. So is there a rule? I guess my question is do we have something that allows this in a policy, or is this something that they are just doing, on top of our process of awarding the vendor, the vendor tags?
I was just talking to Dag New. You're taxing our memory here. We went through this a couple different times. I think we had a ruling from our DAGs and whether that was legal or not. If I recall correctly, if the organization chooses to charge the Visa premium for using your card, Mox Nix, that's up to the organization. But I don't believe it's that NRS allows for a premium to be charged on top of our sale, whatever the sale price was. So we'll have to get back to you on that. I don't want to shoot from the hip here.
Yeah, I think David Newton addressed this a couple of years ago. I can't recall it. I can't find it on my in my emails, but I'll look for it when I get back to the office.
Okay,
It seems like you have a specific example, and I know as a committee member on this, I didn't have that information, and I'm looking at Grant, you know, that type of information might factor into our decision process when we're doing this. It sounds like only if the person uses credit card, if they come in with cash, that doesn't apply. I'm hoping, so. But we don't, now this has come to light, I'd like to know who it is.
It's been my understanding that that was why we didn't select a couple of them, because they wanted to charge a buyer's premium. I mean, that's, my understanding was is that wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a transaction fee, I don't know that I like that either, but that's an entirely different thing than charging a 10% buyer's premium that they keep on top of the tag.
I have no personal problem with the organization. I don't think that our Heritage Program is meant to take money out of the vendor, that particular vendor's pocket, for that person, the winner of the auction using their credit card. That's not what I'm talking about. I think that what we're talking about is this premium issue, and so it sounds like they're not allowed under our heritage rules to do it, and so we need to, maybe as a part of communicating the award back to them, we need to make very clear that the only fee that can be charged is a transaction fee from a credit card company. In other words, that the actual event holder cannot charge any additional fees.
Well, that was my understanding, and I do believe the same thing came up 2 or 3 years ago, and I think that was where we determined that there couldn't be a buyer's premium on it. That's what I recall. I can't remember exactly. It seemed like it was a group out of Texas or something that the committee wanted to award it to, but they wanted to charge a fee and they wouldn't back off of the fee.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner Rain?
Last spring, the commission had a draft of a policy that was going to talk about that and see if we could resolve that, and it was basically killed by the governor's office as it was policy making and did not qualify under the exemptions, I believe, of the executive order that was going on at that time, and so it never developed anything. Solution was there. If you go back and look at the notes, the problem has been identified, the solution was identified. Drag out some approximately 1 year and say 3 meeting old notes, you'll see it, you'll agree with it, and it will resolve the issue. But as far as today's, go with what it is. We had the resolution last year. It was nixed. Maybe you can have the resolution later on this year for next year.
And we could also go back through the policy, and talking with Dag knew that we could propose some wording in policy. We'll go back to the stuff that was originally written. I do now recall that we kind of were moving towards a premium was not okay. Collecting that was a service-oriented thing that the individual organization can choose or not choose to allow a credit card transaction.
Yeah, we had it on the agenda to basically to come up, to have that idea. Hey, do we allow it or don't we allow it? And we had some rough language both ways, kind of, and we never had that. It was killed.
Okay, well, sounds like we can bring that on a future agenda then to get that cleaned up, but I guess for now I just wanted to raise the issue, and so maybe in our motion we can do something.
Well, to my knowledge, there's not any of these vendors that we're going to charge a buyer's premium.
Okay, and I just want to make clear that one of the vendor I'm talking about is on this list, and that's why I'm raising it.
And I think that vendor, after having conversations with the president, withdrew that.
Okay.
So who is it? Come on, we're beating around the bush. It's a big bush.
The vendor was the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Wild Sheep Foundation, to be fair, asked whether that was something they could do as well.
And those are notably national organizations.
Correct.
Every state organization that has a tag given to them, Northern Nevada, SCI, everybody, they recognize the way the game's played, and that has never been played that way with those organizations. I know that.
Correct.
Okay, well, I guess at this point, I'm looking for a motion. Unless there's any further discussion from anybody on the commission? Okay.
Move to approve CR 12-03, 2013 Wildlife Heritage Amendment Number 1 as presented, with the exception of wild turkey, the 2 non-allocated tags, allocating those to the Wildlife Habitat and Improvement of Nevada.
Second.
Okay, just to clarify, anything we need to do with regard to this issue on the fees, charging the premiums? Is it just to recognize that it's our, that is not allowed?
I mean, I would
Make a
amend it
separate motion or something.
to recognize that we don't, how do you put it?
Or
We don't
process the current motion, and then if you have a second motion,
There we go. That might be better.
you know,
Word it
keep it
however
clean.
we want then.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. So with regard to that issue,
If you have some wording in mind, I mean,
Can we make a motion? It's really not agendized for us to
Yeah,
even
it's
discuss that. I mean,
well, I guess the question would be, Dag, New, is the issue of charging a premium relates to the vendors. This is a vendor agendized item. Would that motion be allowed under this particular agenda item? Let me just read it.
I guess, Mr. Chairman, just to be clear, are we talking a buyer's premium or are we talking transaction fees?
Buyer's premium only is what I'm...
Address it next year. Would be my, if I may, you know, it's a big subject. There's a lot of important points in it. While it may or may not be included in this item, it's a big subject. And, you know, it's one of those everybody needs to weigh in on. These vendors will do what these vendors will do. I think you've all got an idea of what they're going to do. A little too late to go back and redress this item at this point, and we can make a suggestion or something, but we had the solution. It was nixed. Bring it back, solve it. I think you got a 99% solution as it is. Thank you.
I think the way the agenda is written, you can probably, if you desire, if the commission desires, can probably make a motion to that effect.
I tend to agree with Commissioner Rain. I think we've got it covered for this year. I mean, we've been diligent talking about it and discussing it, and there doesn't seem to be any major red flags this year. It might be prudent to pull up.
Just deal with it.
Deal with it in future commission meetings here for next year and bring up the, what was started last year and take a look at that and see where it takes us.
Okay, then I would just simply ask that we get that on our radar screen for a future agendized item.
We might even do it in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see